Hi everyone. In this session, I'm going to explain how to post a property in 99 acres. So, if we post a property with all the details, we will get the relevant calls so that we can identify appropriate tenant for the property we have posted, so that we will save the time, precious time, so that we can avoid irrelevant calls. So we need to get almost all the details of the flat as well as the society, so that if we post them accordingly in the 99 acres, so people after looking at this thing, they will get back to us. So they will not be there will not be any repeated questions from the tenants. So whatever the information they need, they will get it. So they will be calling you for a visit, because they'll be knowing all the details. So no more wastage of time. All right. So I'll explain this with an example of a flat in Shilpa Hills in high tech city Kondapur. Okay, so I got this property and I have collected all the details of this particular property. So what are the details I need to get before I post a property? I need to get details such as whether it's 3 BHK, 2 BHK, or 4 BHK. How many bedrooms are there? How many bathrooms are there? How many balconies are there? Whether it has a puja room or store room or reading room kind of. What is the area of the flat and what is the carpet area? Whether it's furnished or semi-furnished. So likewise, you need to know. I'll explain each and everything by posting this property, so that you will get to know what are the things you need to have. And I'll be sharing the document, what are the details you need to have. So first you need to fill the data sheet. So if you have the data sheet with you, which I'll be sharing along with this video, you can get the data sheet filled, and with the data sheet help, you can fill this. You can post the property in 99 acres effectively. Okay. So get the data sheet, download it, and make a note of each and every point mentioned in the data sheet, so that it will be in the sequence. Whatever mentioned in the data sheet, you need to just enter in this thing. All right. So myself, I'm Srikant Chilpuri. So I'm a real estate expert. So I have this experience of rentals, resales. So with that experience, I'm making this video, so that you people will find it very useful, right? So you can download my app, Dr. Reality, where I'll be giving lessons on various segments of real estate, so that you can get settled in real estate with ease. So I'll be explaining how to start a business and how to get settled, established in a professional way. So I have experience of teaching in Central University for 2 years and in Triple IT for 4 years. So with that experience and with that vast experience in real estate, I think I can make things clear for you in a very easy way. All right. So by listening to this particular video lecture, you can understand how much detail I go to. All right. Okay. So let's start the session. So this is the app, right? So usually we take property, listing in the website, right? So for consultants, so we take a package of 50, 100, 200, likewise, right? So as of now, I have a listing of 100 properties. So out of these 100 properties, you can see I have posted 63. You can see the 63 here. So I have around 27 to 28 properties available for my listing. So now I'm going to list a property, right? So for the owners, they can post one property for free, but if the photos, if they want it to be visible, they need to pay some fee, right? And there are packs also, right? A small pack, like 3 for some amount, you can buy that pack and you can use that, right? For one package they will charge a nominal price, right? So for the owners also, this will be very useful. Just you need to write according to the data sheet, details in a page, and you can post it. So as a real estate consultant, when I did this rental business, I used to observe the owners listings. So many owners, they don't have time and they don't know how to, because once in a year they do post whenever their flat gets vacated. So as they don't have much time to, as they don't have much expertise, so they'll post whatever information they have. But this video will help you to gather some data which you already know. So if you make some points out of it in a sequence manner in a paper, you can keep that paper and open your mobile, and you can post it, right? So okay everyone, now see how I post a property. So first you need to click on this post property. For a new people, one property would be free. All right, you can post it for free. So now as I have already have listings I've taken package for, so now I'll click on this post property. Yes, so I've clicked post property. So we need to enter basic details in the first step, right? So this property is for rent, so I need to shift it to rent or lease. So if it is a commercial property, we call it as a lease, right? So as this is for rent, so I selected rent in you are looking to. So I'm looking to rent. And what kind of property I'm posting, I'm listing, it's a residential property, right? If I use lease, I'll definitely post it as a commercial property, right? So right now I'm posting an apartment, right? So I need to select apartment. And the property types here, a lot of property types are there. So whether yours is a villa, independent house, or an apartment, right? So there are independent apartments, not a gated societies. So in that case you need to select independent or builder floor. And there are 1 bhks. So in Mumbai there are one rk, one room kitchen, right? So studio apartments they call it as. You can select that one if it is a 1 bhk, or you can select apartment or independent builder floor, and you can select 1 bhk. So in Hyderabad we don't have this 1 rk studio apartment of kind of thing, right? And there are service apartments. If it is a service apartment, you can click on service apartment. So farmhouses are rare. And if it is another, you can click on other. Like if you want to give whole building for rent, you can mention other. All right, so now I'm going to give what type of property I'm going to select. So it's a flat in an apartment, so I select apartment. So I've selected apartment. So in this first step we have only 3 points. So whether you are selling you are giving it for rent, or you are making it as a paying guest, so that is over. Next, residential or commercial. Residential I've selected. So property type we need to select apartment. So first step we have done. So make sure that you entered appropriate details in the step 1. Depending on that only, so we will get other dialog box in the second step. So now we need to select city. So as I'm this giving this listing in Hyderabad, so I select my city as Hyderabad. So your city will be shown here, right? So whatever the package you take, if you take package in Hyderabad, so Hyderabad you can get it. All right, apartment or society. So which apartment I'm giving listing for? So now I'm giving a listing in Aditya Sunshine. All right, so it is showing here the second one. So what is it showing? Aditya Sunshine, Shilpa Hills, Hyderabad. So I'm selecting this because this particular flat is in Aditya Sunshine, right? House number. If you are an owner, you can mention the house number. All right, so that people will have an idea, because which facing it will be. And if they are from your particular society, they can directly call you through intercom. All right, and if you are a consultant, so if you mention house number, then there are chances that some other people will take note of this thing, and you won't even aware that somebody has closed this deal. So consultants, please be aware that you shouldn't mention the house number, and it is an optional. You don't need to mention it, right? Okay, so as we have entered Aditya Sunshine, the locality has directly come, like it's in Shilpa Hills of High Tech City, right? So house number, it's an optional for consultants, and in owners you can mention it, right? So if you mention it, the society, if your own society people are looking for a flat, they will directly come to your flat, and they'll just press the calling bell so that you can directly contact them. So we need to mention a floor plan. So in this Aditya Sunshine particular society, so there are 3 BHKs and 4 BHKs. So only 3 BHKs, 4 BHKs are showing. So if this apartment society is other one, So this 99 acres has a list of societies, no, pre-mentioned. So it will show accordingly. So as now I'm listing a 4 BHK, I'm selecting 4 BHK, right? So in 4 BHK also there are different floor plans: 4920, 5000, 4420, 4240. So mine, which I'm going to give for listing, is 3910 SFT. So I'm selecting this. All right. So I need to select according to the flat which I'm going to list. All right. So you need to know how many bedrooms are there, how many bathrooms are there, how many balconies are there, and the views from the balcony also you need to know to explain it to the uh, tenants. If the balcony has a garden view, then many people will definitely love it and they don't want to lose it, right? And some people will have a will think in my mind. I'll explain one thing. So there is one particular tenant from Bombay. So he has in particular flat in Aparna Serene Park, and he sent me a photo, like he sent me, Srikant, so this is the view I want. Whenever you get a flat in Aparna Saran Park with this view, please do inform. So this particular view is of garden view, complete clubhouse and a garden in the society. It is visible, so you need to mention when you discuss with the tenant, so the balconies and the views from the balcony. And in this particular apartment there are three balconies. How many bathrooms are there? There are five bathrooms are there. If bachelors take a flat for rent, so usually three bachelors will be sharing three rooms. So what do they ask you is they ask for each bedroom attached with a bathroom, because each person will have their own private space, like they. So if it is a common bathroom, some people have concerns with, right? So for bachelors is concerned, you need to know whether the bedrooms are having an attached bathroom or not. All right. So these things may seem to be little, but when closing a deal they play a major role. All right. And for the families also, if three people are there, they'll definitely look for you know attached bathrooms. Okay. So now we need to know the area details. So it's the app itself has mentioned 3910 super built up area. Super built up area is, it is inclusive of walls, or this balconies and all those things. Carpet is the area is a usable area, like in carpet area. So it is around 3500. We should also know whether the how much is the carpet area, right? So built up area, super built up area, these details you need to know. So in one particular video I'll explain about what is carpet area, what is built up area, what is super built up area, because your clients will be asking all these details and you should be able to explain them what all these are, right? So if you are perfect in these things, then you can be considered as a professional agent, professional real estate consultant. All right. So this particular floor plan has a puja room and other room. Okay. So other room here is storeroom. So when I discussed with the owner, he said it has a storeroom. So as storeroom is not mentioned here, so it is mentioned as others. Some apartments have study rooms as well, to servant room as well. Usually villas will have the servant room. So the villa tenants will definitely ask you whether it has a servant room or not, and they will even ask the way to servant room. So we need to know the furnishing details. In Hyderabad, the standard semi furnished flat will have fans and lights in all rooms. Bedroom in sorry Kitchen will be modular one along with chimney, and all the bedrooms will have ACs installed, and all the bathrooms will have geysers installed. So this is a standard semi furnished flat in Hyderabad. If they doesn't have ACs, geysers, then we can mention it as unfurnished flat. So if sofas, uh, like sofas, washing machine, fridge, beds with mattresses, like if they are all mentioned, if they all are present, then we can consider it as a fully furnished flat. So we should be very careful in mentioning this, whether it's furnished or semi furnished. So this is the only thing I observed in 99 acres. Many owners, they believe that having ACs, having geysers is fully furnished. So no, sorry sir, it's not fully furnished, it's a semi furnished. Fully furnished includes all these along with sofas, TVs, beds with mattresses, and fridge, washing machine, all these things. Okay. So and now the flat I got is of semi furnished, like it has ACs. No, whenever you mention semi furnished, you need to add furnishing. So all these apartments, gated societies will definitely have wardrobes in the sense that, so cupboards for their clothes spaces, right? So you need to check when you get a flat details, like whether it has wardrobes or not. So some rooms doesn't have a spacious wardrobes. Some people are in need of spacious wardrobes to keep their clothes in. So as it's a 4 bhk, so 4 bedrooms will have 4 wardrobes. So 4 rooms will have 4 acs along with one or two in hall. So one chimney will definitely be there. 4 bathrooms will have 4 geysers. One micro, oh no, it's a semi furnished, so no microwave. So lights will be more than 10. Fans will be more than 6. No beds, no curtain, no exhaust fans will be there in the bathrooms. Study table is not there. Modular kitchen. All right. So you need to mention whether it has, if it is a fully furnished refrigerator, dining table, water purifier, sofa. All right. So now we have mentioned all of them, right? Now we need to mention whether it has a parking or not. So 2 parkings are there and 1 open parking is there. So in this particular society, total floors are 9. Sometimes some societies doesn't show up total floors. We need to ensure total floors and in which floor our property is in. We need to mention that. And age of the property, you need to do some research whether the property is first time a tenant is occupying, or 1 to 5 years, are very old. So usually tenants prefer for new flats because they look neat and they have modern facilities. All right. So you need to know how old the property is. So now this property is of 10 plus years, I have mentioned it. And from which date is available, you should know. All right. So it's available from July 1st. So I mentioned the July 1st is available. And you need to mention whether it's available for family or for bachelors. Usually what happens is, some owners have preference only for family, because they believe that only family people will keep the house intact, neat. All right. So they'll be investing a lot of money for their wardrobes, and also they believe that, so they keep the house neat. And sometimes people have concerns with children, because children will scratch the walls and the wardrobes, so they have a concern of children as well. And some people does have a concern about dogs also. Some people doesn't allow pets. So you need to know whether all these, you need to discuss with the owners regarding all this, right? So one thing which a real estate consultant should have, one best quality, first best quality should have is honesty, right? So you need to discuss each and every point with the owner. So whatever their concerns are, you should take them into consideration whenever you discuss with the client. So suitable clients only we need to identify. That is the only problem they have, and we need to solve that problem, identifying an appropriate tenant for the owner. All right. So this particular flat, some owners will have will allow for women bachelors. So you need to know whether they are family along with women also they are allowed. So rarest of the rare cases, right? So they ask, they tell they are okay for bachelors also, because if they don't find families, they cannot keep their house for vacant, because they need to pay the maintenance, right? If it is vacant also, they need to pay the maintenance, then it's a burden for the family. So this is particular flat is available for family as well as for bachelors. So I mentioned single woman, single man also, it's available. So now I need to go for the third step. So second step I finished. In second step, what you need to have, I mentioned them. So go to the data sheet and mention accordingly. Now I go to third step. So in this third step, you need to have photos. So adding photos is an important task in listing a property. So your photos are the first thing a prospective tenant looks at, right? And in these photos, the first photo attracts the more. So you need to post a photo which is very attractive. Usually people look for the hall photo. So in the hall you will be having sofas, right? So a photo which shows the sofas, right, you need to add it as a cover photo. Or else if it is a villa, the backside view of the villa, it does matter, you need to mention that as a cover photo. So you need to select one photo as cover photo and other photos as the rest of the photos. You need to add at least 8 photos. The more the photos, the more understanding the tenant will have, and it helps them take a better decision, right? The tenants gets to know more about the flat by looking at the photos. So what happens is, usually the semi furnished flat, so they take photos when the furniture is there, so they misunderstand that it's a fully furnished flat, right? So owners also, or tenants also, owners also, consultants also, what you need to do is, you get the photos of the flat if it is a semi-furnished one, as it is as a semi-furnished flat, right? If you take photos of the furnished flat, and you are giving it as a semi-furnished, so then there will be some bit of confusion. So what you need to do is you need to get photos accordingly. All right, so now I'm adding photos. Adding photos is easy. First you need to get the photos in your phone and make a folder of that particular society, and you just transfer it into that particular folder. So while adding photos you can just click on, so it's Aditya Sunshine. So in Aditya Sunshine, so I have made a folder in my mobile gallery. So now it becomes very easy. So I just need to select the photo with the hall. All right, so you add photos according to the quality and beautiful photos, right? So puja room next. So whichever photos are nice, you need to add them accordingly. So now I have selected around 10 photos and I have uploaded them. So they are getting uploaded. So if you want to change cover photo, if they are not in order in that, so you can change the cover photo by just you can select that particular photo. If by clicking this mark as cover photo, then this particular photo becomes a cover photo. All right, so I don't want this photo, I want this photo as cover photo, so I just selected this star. All right, so you can delete photos. If wrong photos have come, you can delete them by clicking on this delete. So the app itself recognizes which is bedroom, which is hall, which is balcony. All right, so next, continue. So if you want to add more photos, you can add. And adding photos, you can just post, and later also you can add. All right, so some owners, if they are absent owners, like if they are abroad, or if they are some other places, some owners are open for company lease also, right? You should ask them whether they want to give it for company for leasing, or they want to give it for personal use, right? So after checking that, you can click on preferred agreement type, company lease, or any. So any in the sense that business or personal, anything it comes. All right, so now you need to enter the expected rent. So you need to mention how much rent the owner is expecting, whether this particular rent is negotiable or not also you need to mention. All right, if you just click on this thing, so it means that it will show that the price is negotiable. Okay, and in adding more pricing details, you should know the maintenance charges. When you discuss with the owner, you will be asking what is the maintenance charges per month. And booking amount, what is this booking amount? So whenever a tenant visits a flat, if he likes it and if he wants to book it, he needs to pay some token amount as booking amount. If he pays some token amount, then the owner will remove this particular, or the consultant will remove this particular post listing from the app. It means that, so it is no more available for anyone, so it is reserved. So what is this booking amount and how much is the booking amount? So it varies from owner to owner. So I got one owner in Aparna Serene Park. So he was asking me just 2000 to 5000. Any amount up to 5000 is a booking amount. So if I pay him 2000, then he will remove this listing from the app. So it will be reserved for me. All right. So, and some people, they ask the security deposit as the booking amount. If they transfer security deposit, then only they will remove the listing. Otherwise, in real estate, what happens is there will be many clients visiting, and these rental properties life is very very less. It won't be last for more than a week. So whoever pays the advance first, that is booking amount first, and this particular flat will be reserved for them. All right, so booking amount, it varies from person to person. You may need to mention, or you may not need to. So membership charges in the sense that whenever a tenant comes to new society, he has to pay some amount to the society. All right, so there is one particular society known as Sumadura Acropolis. So whenever a person wants to shift to this particular locality, so the owner needs to inform 3 days advance to the facilities management team. So they need to send a mail that in this particular flat has been given to this particular person, and his details, his Aadhaar card details, or some details he needs to share with the FM people. Then they will raise that they are going to come. So with that permission only they can shift their luggage to the flat. All right, so for joining, for no for owners, there will not be any charges. For the first tenants also, in some societies there won't be charges. From the second tenant onwards, the societies do charge. For example, I have given an example of Sumadura Acropolis. There they charge 2995 as a membership. Whenever a new tenant comes, they charge nearly 3000 as the fee. And for every car, for giving RFID, at the gate. So they'll charge around 10, 1,000 rupees, and for bike they'll charge around 200 to 300 for RFID tag. So these also you need to know, and you need to explain it to the tenant, right? So they will have some understanding, because people from different states do come to different societies, and they are not aware of. So if we tell them, they can plan accordingly, because uh, at the time of coming, then they shouldn't face any difficulties. So we should be very careful of. All right. So membership charges, if you can mention, otherwise also you can go ahead with, right? So now if you are a consultant, you need to mention your brokerage charges. So percentage means, if it is 100%, then it means 1 month rent. If it is 50%, it means 50% means 15 days rent. So you can mention it as percentage, or you can mention it as fixed. So usually some tenants are ready to pay 15 days rent, some tenants are ready to pay 1 month rent. Okay, so the companies usually reimburses the brokerage to the tenant. So in that cases, we need to mention, we need to give them the receipt along with the GST, because the company reimburses them. So now we need to mention whether it's a fixed. For example, if this particular flat, so the brokerage I entered is around 80,000, so 1 month rent. So if you are an owner, you can mention it as none. Brokerage charges are none, because he is directly contacting you. So you can mention brokerage is negotiable or not. Like, many people have an issue. Some people does not willing to pay 1 month rent, so they ask for 15 days rent or 20 days rent. So if you are okay with that, you can mention it as negotiable. Otherwise, you can keep it as whatever you want to. So security deposit, usually security deposit will be multiple of rent. So if it is a semi furnished flat, most of the owners ask for 2 months rent as security deposit. If it is a fully furnished flat, most of the owners will ask for 3 months to 5 months, right? It varies from the owner to owner. For semi furnished also, some people ask for 3 months rent as security deposit. All right. And some people, if it is a fully furnished flat, security deposit, some people ask for fixed deposit. So I got this one flat in Swiss City Walk, so where the security deposit, as it is a fully furnished flat, is around 5 lakhs. All right. So if it is none, you can mention it as none. Usually in Hyderabad, so 2 months rent is a standard security deposit. And this residential rental, what happens is, the rental agreement duration is of 11 months. For every 11 months, it gets uh, what we call, right, renews. So no months of notice. Some people will ask for 1 month notice, some people will ask for 2 months notice. Usually it will be 2 months notice from both parties, and it is mentioned in the agreement also, right? So some people want 1 month notice, prior notice, because usually whenever a owner wants to sell this particular property, they'll keep for 1 month notice, right? So now what we need to do is, we need to mention about this particular property, right? So take an example of this Aditya Sunshine, right? So you need to mention what type of property it is, right? Like, what is its facing details, and these details we mention. But we need to mention the advantage of staying here. For example, so a person should know what makes this particular property is unique. So for example, uh, some properties, take an example of Aditya Sunshine. So there is no common walls between each flat. So each flat is different. It has complete unique walls for itself. So you can mention this. So some societies have beautiful amenities. You need to mention, like, this Aditya Sunshine is having sprawling amenities area, and some societies will have 80% of open space, 20% of these apartments. So whenever you get to visit this particular society, you need to know the unique properties of this particular flat. For example, this particular Aditya Sunshine is located in the heart of city. You can write that as located in the heart of high-tech city. Many MNCs are just a many MNCs are just are in walkable distance. AMB Mall is nearby. So likewise, you can mention what are the features it has. So if you mention it is a fully furnished flat and some anything is missing, like washing machine is missing, you can mention all these things. So whatever the description you have regarding this particular flat, which you cannot mention in this these things, you can write it and you can convey this message to the tenant. Most of the tenants will be reading this particular thing because it is visible. So I just mentioned only 2 3 points here. So usually what I do is I'll give a big description about the particular property, so that the tenants can take a better decision of the property. Now, so as far as these three steps is concerned, I have just completed 81% of the listing. All right. So to get more calls, we need to make it more than 95%. All right. If you can make it 100%, then it's a perfect listing. All right. So whenever we give a listing, because we invest a lot of money for each listing, right? So we need to make sure that 100% uh, complete. We have done 100% complete, right? So amenities and USPs. Every society will have water storage. Every society will have fire alarm. Visitor parking is available. I need to mention. So this is amenities and USPs. Next, we need to click on this add more amenities. So whether it has high ceiling light height or not, we need to check. Many of the societies will have false ceiling lighting is there or not. Many will definitely have. Piped gas is one of the first feature of all these gated societies, and some societies will not have started. So you need to check whether it's available or not. Internet Wi-Fi connectivity will definitely have, they have connection with, so it just need to be installed. So some societies will have central air condition. You need to know, because if there are old people in that particular family, having a centralized AC will be a difficult task for the old people, because they feel very cold. So you need to check whether individual ACs are there or central air conditioner are there. So water purifier available or not, you need to mention. Sometimes they renovate property, so you need to mention whether it's recently renovated or not. So some societies will have private terrace gardens in the balcony, so you need to mention that. So natural light is available or not, you need to check once, because if it is east facing flat, you will have a sunset view. If it is a west facing flat, you will have a sunlight in the morning. So you need to check whether natural light is coming or not. Usually it will have. So rooms, whether ventilation is or not there, or you need to check, because many tenants will ask for ventilation, right? So interiors like wardrobes, they have a lot of space or not, you need to include. If it is available, you need to mention as spacious interiors. All right. So in society building features, water softening plant, whether the you need to know whether the water is of borewell water or manjira water. So people will be asking what type of water, and whether it's available 24 hours or not. So earlier in Hyderabad it used to be water scarcity, but now no water scarcity in Hyderabad. So societies, they do, whenever there is a lack of whenever the water levels are down, they'll just bring tankers and fill in, and they'll charge from the maintenance. So it's no more an issue. Water softening plant is, if the water is of extracted from borewell, what happens is they'll have this magnesium things, magnesium, calcium, so which make water hard. So this water softening plant, what it does is, it makes these hard particles go away from the water, like magnesium, calcium. So the water will be smooth, so your dishes won't get stain, your clothes, washing becomes neat. So likewise, some societies will have the softening plants. So usually many societies will have shopping centers, like grocery store and all other stores. Gym is a basic thing in any society. Swimming pool also, you need to check whether they are running or not. So clubhouses also will definitely be there. Security personnel is the first feature of any gated society. So what happens is, if you post for a villa, so the tenants will be asking whether the servant is having a separate entry, because many people doesn't like a servant coming from their house or hall. So you need to check whether the particular villa is having a separate entry for servant room. So no one drainage, that's a basic feature of any society. Waste disposal will definitely be there, they come and collect. So rainwater harvesting, whether it's available or not, you don't need to mention. So the society low density or not, you need to mention. So in gated society, what happens is, very few people, remote or satellite families are there, so density will be very less. You need to add these. So after you add this, you need to add other features, like it's a gated society or not, it's a corner property or not, it's a pet friendly. Some people doesn't have like pet friendly, so you need to you don't need to select wheelchair friendly. Definitely there will be wheelchair friendly, some society doesn't have. So power backup, these days standalone apartments are also having full power backup, so you need to mention if it's full power backup or not. So if it is partial, you need to click on that. So facing plays an important role, because many people will have particular preference for east. Some people doesn't like north, some people doesn't like south. So you need to mention which property facing it has. So flooring, all these gated societies will have a flooring of vitrified flooring, so you need to mention it. So location advantage. So what are the various places near to it? You need to mention. So this particular thing is near to a hospital. So Kim's Hospital is nearby. So you need to mention Kim's Hospital nearby. So likewise, you can add four. So close to mall. AMB Mall is just nearby. AMB Mall. So you need to know what are the various prominent landmark locations nearby. You need to mention that. So usually schools people will ask for whether schools nearby schools. So Rajiv Gandhi International Airport is a nearby. So think so we need to mention that. And Chirek School is nearby. So Botanical Garden is nearby. So you can mention that. Botanical. So if people know all these locations, so they think that it's in a prominent location. So you can add four such location advantages, not more than that. So whatever the four prominent, you can mention that. So USP is an optional. What type of property feature it has, so which you want to add, like a special feature. Any flat will have special features. Like there is one property in Muppa Salankrita. So the owner was telling he is the first person to get that flat. So he got a more parking space. So only this particular flat will having more parking space, right? So likewise special feature will be there which you can mention in this USP. Spacious parking space. So likewise special feature will be there. So now we need to ensure that which comes first. Like these will be blinking, right? You need to mention. So what are the top four unique features? You can select them and you can shift them down. So now you need to, now your properties, you can see that how much 96% score it got. So our listing is 96% complete. So what are the 4%? You need to check once, right? So there will be I have added only 10 photos and I didn't mention some things like so if you can add those things, it will become 100%. So if your thing is 100%, then it will have more responses. You can see it here. It would increase more responses. So next, so I confirm. Yeah, so I have 28 more premium listings, so I just selected one. Okay, so now you can boost also. What happens is, if you boost, so your property comes first even if it is 1 month old. If you boost with more boostings, you will have more more views. So what happens is, whoever's property is visible at the top, right, so they will get more calls. So if there are more listings, take an example of my home Bhuja, so there will be more listings. Take an example of Aparna Sarovar Janet, there will be more listings. So in that cases, what you need to do is you need to boost. If you boost, then your property will be most visible on the top. For that you need to have boostings. But here in this particular Aditya Sunshine, there are only 3 properties I've seen. So I don't actually need to have a boosting. So what I do is I'll just add. So I don't boost, right? So I'll just post it. So I don't need to auto extend, because these rental properties are of short duration, they won't last for a long duration. So I don't need to add for, so I just skip. So it's done. My property is listed. So what happens is, they'll check for photos. They screen for photos, and if the photos are any human presence is there, or if anything is mentioned twice, then they'll just remove it and you'll get the mail. So now it is posted and you will start receiving calls. So this is regarding posting a flat in 99 acres. I hope I made it clear and you guys can understand. You can also make it, you can post this property with ease. So if you have any issue, just please do let me know. Okay, so I'll post the data sheet along with this video, so you can download and get the details and you can do that. So thank you everyone for watching this video, and I hope you can make a better listing out of which you can get most relevant calls. All right, so please do purchase courses in my app, that is Dr. Reality. So where I'll be explaining different segments in real estate. I'll add all the segments. So if you want to gain knowledge also, it will be very helpful. And if you want to establish also, these classes are most useful. All right, so okay, thank you for watching. Bye bye. See you in the next class.